Welcome back, hodlers. Hopefully you're all still hodling, because last night was a little bad. We did see Bitcoin drop below 30,000, exactly what we've been saying on this channel. And I've been saying that any price below 30 is a great steal and you should buy. And of course, Bitcoin did rebound. I did say that if we do go below 30, we most likely will come right back up. Before we get into the video, go ahead and give me a like. I'm really trying to grow the channel, and it really helps your engagement on these videos, especially it tells YouTube to share these videos out to more people. So if you do want to support the channel, the best thing that you can do is drop a like. Let's go ahead and get into it. First, we're going to go ahead and look at the Bitcoin chart and see exactly what happened and analyze this drop. So we did talk about breaking down below the 32K. We've been broken down below the 32K for quite a while. Now, we didn't really drop down until this area here. And then once this area here dropped, basically everything was terror and destruction. I saw people streaming and everything else. We were watching Bitcoin go down, and seeing Bitcoin get down to these levels is an incredibly low price. Now, I'll admit, I actually expected it to go a little bit further. This doesn't mean that it can't go further down, but this is a big bounce to be a dead count bounce. So I don't think this is necessarily a bounce in general. I think this is a lot of money coming in to scoop up Bitcoin, and I'll explain exactly why I think that is, because again, smart money is buying Bitcoin. So we do see Bitcoin coming back up over the last couple of hours, and we are looking at the 4-hour chart. So every candle here is 4 hours. And we do see about a 10% increase at the top of the wick that it did come from the bottom. So again, it really wants to stay around that 32,000 mark. It's going to hold as a line of support for a little while until we break it. And then if we do fully break the 32, we could go down to some scary lows of 25, maybe even lower, somewhere in that range. But again, I want to be very, very clear, as bearish as that sounds, and people dislike my videos because I'm bearish about Bitcoin, but I'm not bearish at all, because this is the time to get super excited, because you're not going to be seeing prices at these low targets for long. And sure, it could go lower than here, so I'm not saying that it couldn't, but that's why you dollar cost average in. And this is exactly those times that you dollar cost average in and build on your position, because it could be another March situation where you won't see this opportunity for a year. So definitely take advantage when you do see prices this low and when you do see fear in the market this high. If we look at our weekly, we've been discussing our 50-week moving average a lot on this channel, and we are still flirting with the 50-week. Now, we did see that drop, so there's still plenty of time. There's still 4 days left for this candle to close. But if we do replicate something that happened along in March, we could potentially see a drop in that zone. And to analyze going back into March, you do see that there is some candles of indecision, so we could be experiencing that right now. However, we are going pretty high, so I would like to see what we're going to do for the remainder of the week. Right now, we're obviously on the daily chart, and we're looking at a pretty green daily candle, which is nice to see. But of course, Bitcoin is still in a bearish trend. We are still dramatically below our bull market support band, and now we're going below our 50-week moving average. But again, like I've said before, anytime that we are below both the 40-week and the bull market support band, that's generally going to be a good time to buy at excessive rates. Now, Bitcoin rallies after a short-lived dip below 30K, but again, I think that this might not be too long-lived. Bitcoin still can go down in these ranges, and I'm more confident of that the longer that Bitcoin stays down around the 32K mark. It can go lower before it goes up, and I am expecting that to happen, but at some point, it's going to be so low, like we saw today, it's going to be so low that bulls are just going to have to buy and outpurpose the bears. So as long as we can maintain control in those situations, we won't see too drastic of dips for a very long time. But we could see dips going down to the 25K mark that I've said. But we did drop below $30,000 the other night. Now again, at this point, we are on a moment of support. Whether or not we are going to break it or go up to the upside is unsure, but most likely at this point, we are going to break it, and we could be seeing numbers. This article says as low as 23K. That's around the same as what I'm estimating, around $25,000, give or take. Now, on that note, $1.7 billion has been invested in GBTC and Ethereum trusts. So at the same time, when you hear all this FUD about all this stuff releasing, and now we're all worried about exactly what's happening, we do have a purchase of more GBTC. And we do see that with the Rothschild Investment Corporation coming in and scooping up these shares. So again, follow the smart money. We see the price at super low targets. Now's the time to buy. In other crypto news, Bank of America endorses crypto trading for its clients. So exactly what I've been saying about Binance. They're not going to give up this piece of the future market pie. Having this piece of crypto trading, this is incredibly profitable, a huge profit margin for crypto trading. And they obviously want to get into this. So the more banks are going to see more established organizations like BMA go into this, at that point, they're going to have their eyes opened to what crypto can do to their balance sheets, how they can increase money. And nobody's saying that they like the banks at all. I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. But at the same time, you can't disregard that banks picking up services like this are hugely bullish on the adoption of cryptocurrencies going later on down the road. So I'm all for this as much as it is. I'm not going to use banks at all. I mean, I'm a Canadian citizen anyway, but either way, I'm looking to debank myself in the future, and eventually I will get to that point once I can start paying for normal things with crypto. But having BMA going into trading is going to be huge for both BMA users and just new people into the space who already bank with BMA. So opening up the doors for a lot of people to enter the space. And MasterCard is partnering up with USDC. And again, it's a little bit different than, say, Tether. USDC has a lot more backings and audits behind its token. So you do got to be sure which one you're using with. I use exclusively USDC. Whatever you believe about USDC and Tether, I'm not sure, and I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of whether or not Tether is legit. But I just trust USDC because they're auditing. But they are working with MasterCard to pilot crypto payments, which is, again, hugely bullish. The more we enter into this realm of MasterCard, Visa, and other banks entering cryptocurrency is going to be crazy bullish for the long-term future. Now, again, amidst Bitcoin tumbling, we did see a lot of other tokens take another drop down as well. So one big one being Cardano. We're actually looking at a bit of a red candle right now. So again, this could be us being rejected at the 32 for Bitcoin. Actually, we do see that actively right now while we're talking. This is interesting. So we are being rejected, it looks like, at the 32. So we could go a little bit further here. But we do see Cardano took a tumble. It lost support with Bitcoin, did go down all the way down to the $1 mark, around there. We did discuss some of our price targets. My targets were a little bit lower. I was saying roughly in the 90-cent range, but still $1 ADA is a pretty good ADA. Ethereum did pump up and regained a lot of value, but it did drop down to below 1700, which we did discuss. 1700 was a good price target for Ethereum. KSM did drop to roughly 143. Polkadot, I saw this, it dropped to roughly $10.40. I think the lowest that I actually saw at was $11. And the total crypto market cap did drop to $1.16 trillion. So basically about $120 billion left the market overnight. But obviously we have regained a lot of that value back up. But we'll see whether or not we can hold it, because again, we're flirting with some dangerous lines of support here. So we could go at lower targets. So you might be asking what I'm buying. Well, that's simple. I'm just sticking with the high cap altcoins right now, and Bitcoin, obviously, just so I can maintain a little bit of security in this downturn. I don't know how far low some altcoins will drop. I'm keeping my buys to Bitcoin, Cardano, Polkadot, KSM, the very well-known high market cap altcoins. And I'd say at this point, that's where you should focus your direction. I know a lot of people still like a lot of altcoins, and I'm not saying that they're not good projects, but right now I'd rather see my money in high market cap altcoins and Bitcoin. And the reason why I say this is because when there is a pump, those are going to be the tokens that pump first and pump the hardest, and then you roll your profits into the lower cap altcoins. But for now, right now, I'm just looking at the high cap altcoins, staying with those because I know I can trust these in the market dip and just keep accumulating. And as long as you have a long-term perspective here for the crypto market, being even a year to 2 years, you know that you're going to come out of this with some profit. So I wouldn't be looking at this as time to sell. Even if you're buying a $62,000, $63,000 Bitcoin, you should not sell at this point. This is the point where you lower your dollar cost average. And I know a lot of people may be overextended in the early points of the market, but here is your opportunity to lower that purchase price, get in at a lower price, and don't freak out too much about what you've already put in, because I know some people have mortgaged their homes. I know some people took loans. I personally tell you always that you should never invest with anything borrowed, but I understand that a lot of people are over leveraged, and you should readjust your leverage how you need to, but I would try to err with caution that you should not at all sell your Bitcoin. or any of your altcoins that you really trust. But I understand moving around your portfolio, maybe liquidating some projects that you don't want. I understand that. Just try not to liquidate anything at too much of a loss if you are going to do that. And if you do that, make sure you take advantage of tax implications of claiming capital losses and removing that from your tax return. But I'm no CPA, I'm no tax professional, so you take that with what you will. But at this point, Bitcoin is struggling with a 32,000. Will it hold? Will it go down further? I still think that we are going to go down a little bit further. Maybe we're going to flirt with this price for a little bit, but I don't think Bitcoin is going to hold support at these levels. I do think Bitcoin will most likely go down a little bit more. Of course, if it goes back down below sub 30K, we will probably see prices around 25K. But again, this is all just a really big buying opportunity. Hopefully this video helped you guys understand what exactly is happening with this crash. And I hope all of you are hodling through the storm. Go ahead and like the video if you do like these types of videos. Subscribe to the channel for more crypto news and content. And of course, happy hodling.